Yo, what's up, guys? We are live. Welcome back to the stream. Back for a little late night gaming action. What's going on, everybody? John Hodgson, how you doing, Battle? Hell yeah, late night stream. Hell yeah. Day 1 of the lockdown complete, pretty much. Anybody else locked down right now? Shelter in place. I'm assuming most of us are. There's more places that have that going on than not at the moment. Another night of living. You are not wrong, my man. Gonna get some levels on the Druid. Might as well stream it. Sorry for starting the show. I was hoping to get started streaming a little bit earlier, but I had to do some IRL stuff. Get those bangs on hand. Are you stocked up with bangs right now, Solar? Damn, bro, I have no energy drinks right now. 0 energy drinks, but I have a ton of coffee, so that counts as an energy drink. I have a ton of coffee.
Blood and thunder, speak.
Portland isn't yet, but I bet it will be soon, man. Stay safe. Hey, you too, man. KB, you too, brother. Bannock. Howard. What's going on, man? Good morning. Oh, or Sasabite. How you doing, man? Good morning. Very good morning to you. Morning, so I'm assuming you are EU then. Where's everybody checking in from today? As you guys might know, I'm in the Bay Area right now. This is day 1 of 22 of our lockdown completed. I did go out and take a little trip outside a minute ago. I went to the local Walmart. I wanted to just kind of assess the field a little bit and see what everything was like. I hadn't been out all day, and you know, you're only supposed to really go out to do something important, which is, you know, in the government's eyes, to go get groceries, to go get gas, refill your prescription for medicine, or visit family members. So my excuse was going to try and just get a little bit more groceries, stockpile, and whatever. Just kind of get a sense of where everything's at, what's open.
What do you need?
I had no idea what was going to be open. I didn't know if all the fast food was going to be shut down. I didn't know if the grocery stores were going to be shut down. So I can share some of that perspective with you guys. It could be some good intel for all of you and your own respective strategies going into this. Sweden in the house. You love to see it. Don't you ever do anything else than leveling? Not really on stream. No, not recently. I mean, I raid as well on Wednesdays and Thursdays, but I don't really feel too compelled to stream the raiding content since I'm not really going too hard. I'm in sort of a casual raiding guild and we clear the content and stuff, but 7:02 a.m. in Norway. That's what's up, Crusader. Yeah, I know you're from Norway, man. I'm shut down by the army. Can't leave the house because of a cough. Oh wow, you have a cough, huh? That's a little bit concerning. All right, let's see what we can do here. Missing shipment. This is the Ratchet, the Chen's Keg, a Chakey. Let's do a Chakey and Harpy Lieutenants. Do that. Yeah, it sounds good. We can do it the other way around, actually. We'll swing by Rethgar first. Stocked up on pizza rolls today. What's up, Wooey? Good to see you in here, man. I don't know, you put a smile on my face seeing Big Wooey in here. I'll always love tuning into a Wooey stream. How you doing, man? Where are you from in the world, Wooey? Can't sleep. Hate it. Oh, limited obsession. What's going on, man? Why can't you sleep? Are you concerned with everything, or are you just having some sleep problems? I'm drinking a little Emergency. Anybody know about that? No one knows if it does anything for you. Tastes kind of good. No calories, or at least I think there's no calories. Pretty sure there's no calories. It's just like a multivitamin drink. Mix it with some water. I figure, what the heck? I have a bunch of it, so might as well. But yeah, so about 2 hours ago, I stepped foot into the car, drove off to the local Walmart just to get a sense of where everything is at. I was pleasantly surprised. It still feels normal. You still see some cars on the road. It's definitely just a fraction of what you would normally see. Maybe 20% of the normal traffic you would normally see is out there. So you still see cars, but nothing like you would usually see. Yeah, so Crocta, you're right. I went to the Walmart and there's still greeters there. They definitely seem understaffed, and I was actually talking to one of the cashiers when I was on the way out asking about it. They said that a lot of people just didn't show up for work, so they're understaffed. There was still a good amount of food stores there, though. I gotta say. But here's the thing, it's not really fresh food. I think the fresh food is the first to go, and most notably, meat. The entirety of the meat section in a Walmart. I've never seen it before in a Walmart. I mean, my local grocery store, my Safeway, I saw the meat cleared out there. At this Walmart, it was absolutely ravaged. The only meat that was left in the entire Walmart was these little protein packs of salami, cheese, and crackers. Right, we've seen those before. So that was like the only meat really there at all. And other than like beef jerky, you can get some like beef jerky. You know, some canned stuff was probably still available. As far as like fresh meat though, just picking up like pork chops or ground beef, all gone. Hi from South Korea. Oh, what's up, Jeff? You're from South Korea, huh? That's so cool that we have. It's kind of an honor to have someone from South Korea in here, guys, because I have so many questions for you, Jeff. It looks like as you're monitoring everything, it looks like they're doing a really fantastic job. And you know, both China and South Korea have kind of stalled out on new cases, and a lot of people don't really trust the China statistics, thinking like they're just not reporting them, or there's a breach of trust there. But South Korea is a close ally, at least to the States. So if you're over there, I'm curious, man, does it feel like they have it under control over in there? I mean, what is the climate? I'm from East County, San Diego. Nice, man. You have to finish the audit. Oh, damn. The economic fallout from this mass hysteria is worse than the actual disease. Yeah, that checks out. So they're thinking about in the States, guys. For those of you who don't, live in the States, this might be kind of interesting to you. I'll finish my Walmart story too. The Fed is thinking about giving every American adult, I believe what that means is over the age of 18, $1,000 or more, just to help out. That's, I mean, I think anybody can really survive off $1,000. It'd be rough. You wouldn't be able to pay your rent, right? But you'd be able to survive just with food and keeping, just staying afloat. You'd have to just shop really cheap and be really frugal and really get the most bang for your buck. But the thing is, at the same time, by issuing a bunch of money like that, I mean, you're reducing the purchasing power of the dollar at the same time, right? If you inject a couple $1 trillion, I wonder how much of a decrease to purchasing power that ends up being. So maybe the $1,000 they give everybody gets significantly offset by, the reduction in purchasing power. I wonder. I think it's probably good though that they're doing that, because some people, like people in restaurants. Another thing I didn't think about. The more you think about this whole virus, guys, the more implications you think about. Like, what about Uber and Lyft drivers? Uber and Lyft, that's seen as non-essential travel, right? That's not really an essential service. So I think that, and also Uber and Lyft, you're getting a lot of new strangers in there inside the car, and there's a lot of kind of cross-pollination, so to speak. So no Uber, no Lyft. Think about how many millions. It's got to be millions of people that work, for those companies collectively across the world. A lot of those people are potentially out of work. Restaurant people out of work or making some severe cuts. Hospitality, entertainment. I agree with you, man. The economic fallout is, it's pretty massive. I am concerned about the supply and demand on Uber. My wife needs it to get to work. That's what I'm saying, man. What does she do, though, that they're still making her go to work? Wifey's home for the foreseeable future, man. So, one thing you've probably been hearing it on the news reports, they're saying that, we have a 3-week lockdown. There's a shelter-in-place type of thing. A lot of people were initially thinking, are we already at the curve right now? Like, have we already flattened the curve? What do you guys think about that? Have we flattened the curve? Are we starting to flatten the curve? A lot of the top sort of leading experts in this field who understands the nature of these types of diseases thinks that this is not a weeks type of thing. This is a month type of. This is like a multiple month type of thing. and we got to just start adjusting to it. This is just going to be normal for a little while. Probably for, I mean, you know, in California, the schools are closed until the next school year. So what is that, fall? We do not know where the curve is due to the lack of tests. Yeah, I mean, we're getting there, right? The best news, the absolute best news that I see when I look at the global landscape right now is that Germany is the number 6 country. Get it? That's not the good news, right? But it's really that the death rate in Germany is so low. The mortality rate comparatively to all these other countries. They have something like approaching 10,000 cases, and they only have 22 casualties. So it's they're doing great. And also South Korea appears like they've kind of halted the curve. They didn't even flatten it. People are saying that they've dropped it. I don't know how they're doing it, but we got to get some of those South Korea strats. This is going to go on for the next 3 to 6 months. Yeah. South Korea did some tests. I think I'm too small of a brain to understand the implications of that. So they tested early. Also, okay, so one thing about South Korea is a very young population comparatively. So Italy is a very old population. So that's a factor as well. And also, mortalities are delayed before full effect unfolds. It looks like South Korea is making some really good progress. So when I left for Palm Springs about 4 or 5 days ago, is my volume really low? Is it? Anybody else having volume issues? It could be the game sound being too high, potentially. Little mic check, volume check. Am I alright, guys? When I left for Palm Springs, which was about 4 or 5 days ago, South Korea was sitting at about 8,000 on the dot. Cases. Since that time, which has been, 4 or 5 days, they've basically increased like 400 cases. That is not much. That is not much at all. They've done a really good job somehow. And I think we can kind of trust the South Korean numbers coming out of there. And Germany, like either their healthcare system is badass, they have tons of ventilators. I'm not sure. It's really, really cool having access to the chat though, guys. I appreciate it because if you remember, if you were here for the earlier stream, there are some people from Germany in the chat. And in America, we're kind of sensationalists. We like to make things seem spicy and dramatic, and we tend to over-exaggerate and be hyperbolic with a lot of things. So, ask some people in different American cities. Everyone's like, "Oh, everything's going to shit. Run for the hills. It's over, boys. GG." I don't know. I was asking some of the German people in here how it is in Germany, and people were saying it's pretty cool. It's pretty collected. It's pretty chill. People are focused. People are, I don't know. It's that German efficiency or something, man. It seems like Germany is handling it well. People aren't freaking out. It is good. Respirators. Oh, my bad. Yeah, my bad. Like I said earlier, my dad. I don't know how he predicted it, but super big brain. He actually ordered one of those things months ago. Hey, you watched the videos I sent you? No, I didn't take a look yet. I've been doing some IRL stuff throughout the day. But yeah, anyway, getting back to the Walmart story. I went to the Walmart, all the meat was gone. But massive win for your boy, I have to say. I was able to pick up some eggs. Got 3 cartons of eggs. And that was one thing I was not tracking or cognizant of, how fast eggs would go and how much demand there would be for eggs, dude. It's kind of strange. I was not expecting that. Pretty much every store completely out of eggs, and eggs would go out before bread and milk. Like eggs is prio. I think it's because it's got protein in it, and they last for a while. Thing is, you can freeze eggs as well. There's been no eggs around, so I was at this Walmart. And they had a bunch of eggs, but there's a bunch of cases that were just on the ground, because they had a couple cracked eggs in it. People inspect the eggs and they want to see if it's all intact or not. So there's a bunch of these that I'm like wading through, sifting through, and I find a couple of eggs, dozens of eggs. So I got 3 dozen eggs, man. Pretty big height there. Yeah, I wanted some eggs, couldn't buy any of them. Yeah, it's crazy. That's news to me, man. I think if this were to happen again, right? Man, oh man, we learned so many lessons from this, man. First of all, I mean, it seems obvious, right? But by the time you actually need something, no, eggs last a while, finisher, man. The eggs last a while. If you look at them, they're usually good way past their expiration date, and you can freeze them. You know, comparatively to, I mean, you would think eggs would go bad fast, right? I'm not tripping, right? Everybody on the same page with that eggs last for a while. I mean, babe, I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure they last for a while. You can freeze them. You can use them well past their expiration date. But anyway, still a good amount of food. Still a good amount of food in there. I was pretty impressed with that. All the gas stations seem open. So, okay, you guys know about California and fast food, right? You know how like integral that is to, like, you know, California and the car culture that exists out here. Everybody drives. You don't really walk too much out here. I was curious to see what was going on with the fast foods. A bunch of them were closed, but I did notice that Mickey D's in particular was open. Drive-through only, of course, but you know, some of the other ones, like some of the smaller ones, even I think Taco Bell was closed. Jack in the Box might have been open. I'm not sure. I didn't get close enough. But Mickey D's was open. Other than that, everything was kind of closed. No, I did not finish her. I didn't get a chance. Bro, boys, here's my thought. We all isolate 3 weeks. Everyone grows a beard. We lift prison style. I'm squatting with books and grocery bags. We all get huge. Oh my god. I don't know about that. No gyms. There's gonna be some prison style getting yoked. Not to say many of us are actually gonna do this, but for whatever it's worth, maybe it'll motivate one person in the chat out there. The best bang for your buck thing you could probably be doing right now to try to prepare your body for potential coronavirus or whatever it might be is to get your respiratory system up, like as a function of cardio. Probably doing cardio is probably the best thing you can do right now. Getting your heart rate up, getting your cardio, just strengthening your lungs and respiratory system. Nobody is gonna take that advice, right? Barely. I got a little exercise in today. I could have done way more for sure. But that's something we're gonna have to chip away at. Yeah, In-N-Out was closed. Yeah. Quit smoking. True. Yeah. So the mortality rate. When they were looking at South Korea, I was talking to my dad about this. The mortality rate in South Korea is kind of low, but the difference between men and women is massive. Men are dying a lot more from this, by the way, guys. And I think a factor there was that in South Korea, 50% of all men smoke, whereas opposed to women in South Korea, only like 5% of them smoke. So if you're a smoker, man, now's the time. Dude, I used to do push-ups with a backpack filled with laundry detergent. Dude, yeah, that's all you need. You don't even need a bag of laundry detergent. You could just do more bodyweight push-ups till failure. Pretty much everybody, man. Everybody, even if you're some advanced bodybuilder, been training for like 10 years, you'll get the failure eventually. You'll be able to get there eventually. Got your home gym set up. That's what's up, man. Yeah, I'm feeling really good about things. We calculated it. There's a lot of little min-max things you can do, you know, as far as little things that make a difference, like, right, as far as how to pry out what food to eat first. So we planned it all out. Like, we're gonna eat all the perishables first, right, and then the processed foods later. So we're gonna chip away at the fresh veg and stuff like broccoli, peppers, what else, you know, like some of the tomatoes. We got some cherry tomatoes, some of the bigger tomatoes, onion, garlic, all that stuff. We're gonna chip away at that stuff first, eat the processed stuff later. You know, don't have the bottled water first, have tap water first, utilize the Brita filter and stuff like that, as much as possible, and don't touch the bottled water, only as a contingency. Also, another thing too, very real consideration. I was thinking about it. You kind of want to spread out all of your stores in different areas of the house, because oh shit, I almost pulled that elite. I was thinking to myself, you know, I was keeping the vast majority of our food stores in the garage, right? And I think to myself, something happens with the garage, or if someone wants to go into the garage, break in, go get the stuff out of the garage, you go from super solid and fine and have like a great runway to nothing, you know. So that's a terrible situation. So finding, you know, different areas of the house to just stagger out your supplies in was just a little tip. There's a lot of stuff when you start thinking about logistically how to do this. Ain't no one breaking it. Hey man, you never know. You never know. We're in day one of this thing, right? So, you know, down the line if something breaks supply chain. Okay, here's another thing. I was asking the chat this, guys, again earlier. I'll ask it again. I don't want to lead the passer here. How many of you think the water supply is just going to be 100% fine? Or like we can get a little discussion going here. What do you think about the water supply? So even I was talking to my dad about this today. He's like, nah, the water's going to be fine. The electricity usually goes out before the water, right? People think, nah, water's good, man. Like there's no way. There's nothing possibly bad that's going to happen with the water. Water's totally good. Most people think the water's going to be good. This isn't even some tinfoil hat shit. This is just some real talk. Got a little bit of interaction. Here we go. You guys this morning. No, it's not a replay. I'm gonna fill you in though, LOR, because there's an interesting thing. Because I didn't say this morning. This part of it. California just put out a notice that due to increased demand for the bacterial wipes, you know, like Clorox wipes, Lysol wipes, baby wipes, and the limited supply of toilet paper. I am not memeing you, ladies and gentlemen. This is like real talk. Like, you know, you guys have seen this. TP is like some treasured item now. You know, even though it's not actually essential. Because there's not a lot of TP, and people are going for these baby wipes and Lysol wipes, a lot of people are flushing the wipes down the toilet. Right? Now, a lot of these types of wipes have plastics in them and stuff, like nylon, and they don't deteriorate like TP does. So what actually happens is it goes down into the pipes, and it gets stuck on the pipes. It gets caught in tree branches, and pretty much each year California spends $50 million just detangling a lot of these things that break pipes, like these baby wipes and Clorox wipes. You're not supposed to you know, flush them down the toilet. This is something to think about, man. Yeah, true, it's not branches. Yeah, true, it's my bad. So think about this. If there's less TP and more baby wipes, there's everyone's at home, and there's increased utilization of home plumbing and stuff. People aren't at the office. And a bunch of these wipes get flushed down the toilet. Pipes break, and then you're in a huge sanitation issue with the water plant, or the pipes aren't running correctly. Yo, that's a consideration, man. And if people are relying on tap water for 100%, and you don't have bottled water, like I was pretty disappointed with my dad when I was talking to him today. I was like, how much bottled water do you have? And he said, oh, we have one case. My mom in the back said, like, oh, we have more than that, but he felt we had one case, and that was acceptable. One case of water. And I'm like, why do you only have one case? He's like, oh, we have the filter. We'll be fine. We're just using the tap water. Tap water's not going to be an issue. But I'm just saying, that's the type of things you got to think about. You got to think outside the box, right? I'm in a rag fight right now, but this conversation is extremely interesting. I appreciate that. I've noticed that most people I don't think people like talking about coronavirus. I think I give off too strong prepper vibes or whatever. It is what it is, though. I don't think I'm capable of talking about other stuff right now, because this is the type of stuff that's like right up my alley. So I'm gonna have to take an L there. It's all good. I appreciate you guys hanging in here, just, you know, hanging out with me, hearing me out. Do I sound crazy? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, I don't know. How crazy do I sound? Is this insane? Like, this is the type of stuff that I like, though. You know, outside of like gaming, I like you know, preparedness and, you know, just being ready for stuff and like survival talk. I don't know, man. This stuff that interests me like big time. Problem for Korea was some stupid fake religious group. They kept telling lies. That's why it spread so fast in the early stage. Oh yeah. Solid 5. All right, I'll take that. It's not bad. I think buying food is pretty scary. I saw TikToks where people lick ice cream. What if somebody infected does that to screw with us? Bruh, yeah. I mean, this is how I know I'm a boomer. Guess how many TikToks I've watched? I barely even know what that is, fam. I've watched 0 TikToks. 0. Actually 0. I barely even know what that is. I'm pretty sure all the Tide Pod eaters are using it though. What I've heard about TikTok is that you can ad-lib music and make little videos of you ad-libbing music on it. That sounds like there's a massive potential for some serious, unparalleled levels of cringe being generated, says the 29-year-old boomer playing Classic WoW in 2020, talking about prepping IRL. It is what it is. I've watched the hit or miss scroll a bit too many times. Yeah. Alright. But, what was I saying, man? Yeah, so, I mean, there's probably other things that might be able to affect the water supply too, man. All I'm saying is you should have some bottles of water. You're kind of trolling if you don't. Just have some in the back. Use it and then use it if your primary solution fails, right? I bought all of the adult diapers 10 steps ahead of all these morons. Hey man, diapers are probably pretty useful. What kind of cool shit could you use with diapers? How much time have you put into this tune since yesterday? I haven't really been leveling too fast, not a Produca. I've just been really talking primarily. It's been pretty slow, man. So apologies for that. We're making progress though, we're chipping away at it. It's basically more just like a talking stream, you know? Not really providing the most phenomenal gameplay here. Yeah. I have 0 bottles of water.
Project Zomboid is a good game based on this stuff.
Yikes, dude. 0 bottles of water, Corey? Damn, dude. You should get some. Thank you very much for the $2, Mountain Dew Ramen. Project Zomboid, huh? Is it, what platform is it on? Steam? Mobile? Text. Nothing important. So I got an Amazon package today. Pretty nice to see that the Amazon supply chains are still running. This is the weird thing about this virus, guys. Now people are going to start saying that the UPS drivers and the Amazon drivers are heroes. They kind of are, though. I hear what they're saying, man. They're out here, you know. You would never hear that in the same sentence, though, in the same paragraph, right? You know, God bless the UPS and Amazon drivers. They're the unsung heroes on the front lines, you know, combating the coronavirus and all this. Like, it's just interesting, right? Like, that's a thing now. Like, the UPS drivers are out here making plays, like, feeling like heroes, man. Like, good for them, though, man. They're out here still pumping, still, you know, still delivering, you know, in the face of all this. Just weird stuff is occurring. This is a real moment, guys. I started offline, off stream, kind of recording some videos about this stuff too, just looking at the kind of state of affairs, just thinking that down the line I might want to look back on this, because it's a really interesting time to be alive. I feel for the retail workers. I do too, man. I have some friends right now. I was talking to my man Eli. He works as a hairdresser. Yeah, he works as a hairdresser. He is, I mean, he's actually kind of a Chad, honestly. He you know, he works for his hairdresser though. Yeah, he works as a hairdresser, but anyway, he, you know, that whole industry is kind of getting GG'd right now in New York, and they're keeping the stores closed. He's basically out of a job right now, and he has to go find something else to do. Thankfully, you know, he takes pictures and does photography on the side, so he's going to try and bring that back, but at the same time, pretty sure all the weddings are going to be canceled around this season. A lot of stuff is going to be canceled now. There's probably not that much demand for a photographer. Lots of people losing their jobs, right? Yeah, it's true. Having said that, even a 1% mortality rate is massive. It's more than that, bro. It's more than that. It's actually 4%, I heard, globally. So that is orders of magnitude higher than the influenza. Someone said influenza has a 0.2 mortality rate. We're talking 4%, and this is a 4% under healthcare systems that have not toppled over yet, right? They've been overwhelmed, they've been stressed, but they have not toppled over yet, and they're still, I still think it's probably the best time to be getting coronavirus right now, because there's no vaccine out, and the health, and you know, there's not a long line for ventilators. So if you do have it right now, you might just be building that immunity, getting it out of the way, man. That's only mortality of confirmed. That's true. That's actually really true. That's so true. That's a great point. That's mortality of the confirmed cases. Yeah, that's true, man. Did you see the article on how the virus can cling to cardboard? Hope you disinfected. I did, yeah. Well, actually, I didn't disinfect it. I opened it, and then I washed my hands thoroughly afterwards. So, hopefully that's good enough. I mean, what am I going to disinfect it with? What is the proper procedure? You just spray it with some friggin' Lysol. Bird flu had 50% mortality rate. I was reading something about the Spanish flu of the early, like 1918 or whenever it was, or the 20s. The interesting thing about that disease is it targeted the opposite. Apparently, it targeted the young people. That's kind of terrifying, right? I guess somehow the old people were fine, I guess, and it would target young people's immune systems. And we didn't have all the communication that we have today. I don't think it's gonna be anywhere near as bad as that, obviously. But it was just interesting to know it's kind of the inverse. Yo, Crix, what's going on, man? Good to see you in here. Big Crix, you love to see it. Mortality rate right now is like asking chat if they like WoW and then saying 100% of people like WoW. Mortality rates are skewed inherently because of huge numbers of cases unreported. No, I definitely hear that. That's a really good point. That kind of went over my head. Just got home booting up some PBC. That's what's up, man. So glad to hear about all your streaming success, Kirks. Clay Scott, what's going on, man? The virus is very concerning, but I'm also concerned about the social impact. Stuff like this makes crime and corruption go up. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. People losing their jobs, right? Well, here's the thing, too. There's so many implications to this. It's actually kind of fascinating. I mean, a lot of people are in a bad spot right now, guys. Even on the front of rent. So my dad works in like affordable housing, and he works for a bank that does like affordable housing and works with developers and people who make these things. And here's where I'm going with this. In a situation where you only have $1,000 a month due to this government stipend or whatever you want to call it, or if you have you're living paycheck to paycheck, you don't have your work anymore, you're paying rent is going to be the last thing you do, right? Paying rent is the bottom of the order of operations. And in that situation, if I'm in that situation, rent is at the bottom of the list, and you're prioritizing, water, medical supplies, defense. Everything comes first because they're putting, what do they call it, a moratorium on evictions and even on forbearance on loans and all this type of stuff. And if everybody in your building, this is a real concern. He was telling me about this because he works in this industry. Let's say that you live in some affordable housing, building in a city, and everybody in your building just agrees to not pay the rent. Are you going to be the one guy that pays the rent? Right? Are you going to be the dude who goes against the grain and does that? There is a lot of money to potentially be, lost here. There's massive, massive implications. It seems like people are totally missing the point. Once there are more infected than the healthcare system can handle, the death rate will explode. That is why it's being taken seriously now. It'll explode for sure. I hear that, but at the same time, 50% of people, I think that's the number they use, right? 50% of people will be mild flu-like symptoms, or maybe asymptomatic, or maybe more than 50% of people. And then, of that 50%, I think it's like 15% will require hospitalization, and then of that percent, like 5% of them will require that really, really, really critical extended hospitalization and ventilator support and all that type of stuff. So it's not like everybody's gonna die from this. There will definitely be the potential to have millions of casualties. Actually, most doctors right now that study this stuff, I'm really, really sad to say, but it seems like they're all on the same page, thinking that this is kind of inevitably going to cause, you know, millions of deaths. It's a matter of slowing the progress. So hopefully we can get to some huge leap forward, like a vaccine or a series of vaccines. That could be some kind of hard stop to it potentially. But without, you know, the introduction of a vaccine or anything like that, I don't know. Again, what's going on in South Korea right now is very promising, man, because it seems like they've kind of halted it. Whatever they're doing, man, we gotta take some notes. What about funerals? I don't know, man. It's so strange. Every industry is being affected differently. What about funerals? Yeah, I didn't even think about that, man. I really did not even think about that. Funerals are being placed on halts. Yeah, that's so crazy. Dude, I gotta stop watching your stream because all you do is talk about the virus and problems that we try to get away from when we come to Twitch and YouTube. Super stressful. Good luck on your streaming career. Unfollowed. I don't know what to say to that, man. I mean, there's definitely people, that's a valid point. Every time you get some feedback like that, it reflects a certain portion of people. I don't know what to say about that. I feel like if I'm not talking about that, we'd just be missing the elephant in the room. I could not stream, right? And then, but I don't know. This is what everybody here is going through it. I don't know, man. Can't please them all, dude. I don't even know if I'm, you know, capable of just talking about WoW right now. Of just talking about the leveling, because all this is going on. Especially the people who feel the need to say unfollow. I feel you, man. You can't please them all. That's something I'm slowly starting to ease into. You kind of just come into the realization you can't please them all. Just be yourself and see what happens. Hopefully, you know, hopefully it works out. Feedback is good though, yeah. I mean, I'm not afraid to read that type of feedback out. It's definitely valid. Like the viewership on some of the streams recently has not been super high. That doesn't bother me that much. It doesn't, but it's something that I take note of, you know. You'll be fine. You got shot some corona in the army. It's possible, dude. I don't know. Like I said, they gave us that weird pill that they forced you to eat, and they made sure they checked your mouth to make sure you swallowed it. I still to this day don't know what that was that they gave us, right? I don't think you should not talk about it, but you do take a rather gloom and doom approach. Do I? Interesting. What is the non-doom and gloom approach? I'm just trying to give you the real talk on it. I don't think humanity is ending to the coronavirus. I think ultimately it's going to be a good wake-up call that gets people's kind of priorities back in check as far as, you know, what they value in life, what they don't value in life. You know, what is a necessity, what is essential versus what is just something that you want. It's interesting. Do you think the world will come out of the other side a better place? I do. Right? I do. The optimist view is that everything and everyone is going to be okay. Well, not everyone is going to be okay. That's just, you know, that's just insane to think about, to think of, right? But, you know, we'll get through it, guys. I mean, we will get through this. It will be an interesting wake-up call. Not everybody's going to make it through it, which is unfortunate. But I don't think that, you know, if I'm being honest, I don't think this is the apocalypse virus by any means. Yeah. No, I hear you. It's good feedback.
PPL or spoon-fed BS can accept it or double down.
People are spoon-fed BS, can accept it or double down. Yeah, thanks, Ramen. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the two, brother. If Trump gives me money, I'm saving it. I'll tell you one thing: if I make it, I'm gonna become a prepper. Yeah, dude. At times like this, you know, I'm definitely appreciative that I, you know, stockpiled what I did stockpile and have. At least I don't have to worry about, you know, medical stuff. Don't have to worry about any of the self-defense stuff. Any of that, all that stuff is taken care of. You know, because you don't really have the bandwidth to try to stockpile lots of stuff. You know, at the same time when you need it, and when you feel like you actually desperately need it, it's oftentimes too late. So you definitely got to get ahead of this stuff. I'm learning a lot of lessons from this. I don't know if you guys are as well. I think panic rocking the economy will be worse than the actual virus. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it seems like the Fed is taking a lot of measures. I don't know if they've done this in the past to prevent everything from falling over. Like this, you know, what did they do? They brought the interest rate down to 0. They are, you know, going to give this $1,000 plus to every adult American. And the Dow, for whatever that's worth, I don't know too much about trading or the stock market for that matter, but the Dow is recovering. Each time they do something like this, it's bouncing back, you know, a few hundred points or whatever it might be. Maybe not a few hundred, maybe it's like 100, I forgot what.
Yo, Cargos. Just got the word that my work is closing down for 8 weeks. Low-key kind of worried, but I've got beers in the fridge and Cargos on the stream, so we gon' be alright. Hope everyone is staying safe out there.
Yo, Seamus with the 20, man. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that big time. Closing down, though, that's a little bit sketch. So are they still gonna pay you, though? Damn, dude. You got beers in the fridge and Cargos in the stream. Hopefully it's still gonna pay you, man. Hopefully, so you can't work remotely. Damn. Who here is anybody here just no longer getting paychecks as a result of everything going down right now? It's got to be some people, man. We're getting paid for 6 weeks, then we're on our own. Oh, that's not that bad though, thankfully, because you got, so it's like 2 weeks of downtime, so it's like 1 paycheck. Damn. So I consider myself lucky. Yeah, that's pretty good. And you get to work from home for 6 weeks, so you'll probably save more in those, you know, from working at home, so you don't have to commute and do all that. Then the 2 weeks, yeah. Paid leave, thank God. Yeah. I'm glad you're talking about it and informing people about it. It's better than pretending it's not an issue. That's the thing. I appreciate that comment, Sleazy. Maybe it's just me, man, but that's what I'm hyper fixated on, man. It could be just me, but I am fixated on just tracking this thing as it goes down because it's so interesting and it affects literally everybody that it would almost feel disingenuous to come in here and just talk about exclusively WoW because this stuff is racing through my mind a million miles a minute. Is anybody here having a hard time suspending reality and just watching a movie? Or I guess I'm not exactly helping that, but like wifey's been wanting to watch movies recently, right? And I've tried to watch a couple of them, but I'm having a hard time kind of getting into it because everything's going on in the background. I'm a pilot getting laid off soon. Oh, damn, dude. You're a pilot? Yo, I heard Trump saying something that they don't want to let the airline industry fail though, because they can't. You can't let the airlines go down. But yeah, they could probably lay people off, dude. You hate to see it, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I think it causes a lot of people anxiety, so that's why the feedback is partly negative. It's kind of true, man. It's kind of true. I hear that. That's a good point. I work at a drywall production plant. We're still running 24/7, no days off. Damn. What country? What makes your stream so good is how you talk about IRL. You're in the minority, though, brother. Most people don't like to hear about that. I appreciate it, though. Don't watch Outbreak. You know, actually, that was playing earlier. Wifey put that on. I have symptoms of the virus and I barely go out, you're probably good then, man. I'll tell you though, so I was in the car, we were going to Walmart a minute ago, and I was talking with wifey about just the current state of affairs, and you know where we are right now, our current level of preparedness and readiness right now, our current situation, and we were comparing it to what it was like living in New York City, because I used to live on the Upper East Side in New York City. So Manhattan is really simple. This is my little Manhattan lesson, guys. If you're not from New York, it's really simple. Manhattan's a big island, right? It's a big kind of strip. This looks like some kind of vertically oriented strip of an island. You have the Upper East Side, the Upper West Side, the Lower East Side, Lower West Side. Midtown is right in the middle. To the left of it is Jersey, right? To the right of it is the East River and Staten Island and Long Island. To the north of it is the Bronx, and to the north of it is the Bronx, and to the south of it is Brooklyn. Oh no, hold on. Queens is to the east. My bad. Queens is to the east. Jersey's to the west. Oh damn, Bubonic Chronic with the 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you very much, man. That is a huge donation, man. Thank you so much, bro. Just please watch the videos I sent you. I'll watch them after stream. Yeah, thank you very much, Finisher, for sending those over. I'll take a look. You've definitely been onto something. But anyway, what was I saying about New York? So comparing city life versus the current life we're living in right now. Living in the city right now would be kind of scuffed. And when we lived in the city, we dreamed of kind of living in California a lot of the time. The grass is always greener, though. That's the human condition, right? You know, when you live in an environment, you always think, man, if I lived in this other environment, things would be way better. And you often forget about what you do have. And there's a ton of benefits of living in the city as well. You know, just the exposure to all the different cultures. You get all this food whenever, you know, happy hours in the city all the time, meeting up with people, you know, just strong social life. You can go to lots of events, you know, all the time. But the downside is that, you know, in these kind of crises in particular, well, first of all, you're just more exposed. You know, just greater risk of, you know, either terrorism or whatever it might be. But cities have always been kind of like a, what's the right word, man? I mean, cities are where these kind of pandemic type things thrive, right? I think everything moves so rapidly, and you have no car if you're living in New York City. Like 90% of New Yorkers don't have a car, so if you do have to go stockpile some groceries or whatever, you are going there on foot, fam. Also, if you have dogs, you have to take them out of the apartment each time yourself, you know, to walk them and stuff. We were just so happy to think, man, like I'm glad we're not living in the city right now, as much as we love New York. From Turkey, I'm currently doing my military service. We don't have any day off right now. They're not allowing us to go out for almost a week. Damn, dude. Stay safe, brother. Yeah, I saw Turkey has a couple hundred cases. Cities are volatile. Yeah, I was watching some clips earlier about some of the yo, is anybody here from France? I actually have some questions if anybody's from France. Apparently, a lot of the population is ignoring the shelter-in-place kind of orders. And, you know, they're on the Elysee, the bridge, and they're chilling outside. I don't know if that's true or not. I saw some reports about that, and then also it was insane. I saw some clips of the panic buying in France, but they just have little baskets, going to the local store and buying, like, you know, 2 loaves of bread, 2 paper towel rolls, and that's the panic buying. It's just interesting. But in a city, you can't carry that much. There's no car. As opposed to in America, you go to a Costco, you buy 4 million paper towels, 3 million toilet paper rolls, 47,000 bottles of water, 13,000 Jolly Ranchers, like, you know. Oh, Contagion. Oh, with Matt Damon? Yeah, I saw that. I love Matt Damon. Big Matt Damon buff. Yeah, one downside of living in a densely populated city. France finally closed their borders earlier today. Yeah. People spending 100K on water and TP. Now that might be a little bit excessive. I was looking at the Amazon prices earlier. They still have water on Amazon right now. So people not taking this serious enough in the US, same as it has gone to EU. People are starting to take it a bit more serious now, though, Probably going to unfold similar in the U.S. People are taking it more seriously in the U.S. right now. They are. I'm seeing it, man, with my own eyes. They're taking swift and decisive action to try and shut down the major population centers and stuff. I know New York is the same way, right? It's the shelter in place. San Francisco is as well. Philadelphia is as well. I think Chicago is as well. Seamus with another 10. It's a somber time, but this is when this community means so much, especially with many of us on lockdown.
It's a somber time, but this is when this community means so much, especially with many of us on lockdown. I am glad the Hive Mind is here to share thoughts and concerns. We're stronger together.
Yo, big true, Seamus, man. Thank you very, very much for your continued support and just being like being positive energy in the chat, dude. You love to see it. I appreciate every single one of you guys watching right now. And that's the type of thing too. I don't appreciate what I have right now sometimes, even though I still think I do. I try my best, but yo, you guys make my life so much better. Scouts honor, polygraph me. I think about you guys when I'm out and like doing just regular day-to-day stuff. I think, what would the chat think about this? Oh, I should bring this up on the next stream. Talk about it. It's the most amazing resource that I have access to. The hive mind of the internet. People from all these different countries, and I don't really feel lonely right now. At all. Like, even though I'm straight hermit mode. Why am I killing these mobs? I did have a quest here. Now I'm trying to get out of here. It takes a minute to get out of here, though. I'm also kind of just distracted talking to everybody at the same time, too. That's part of it. But we're trying to make our way out of here. We just finished the Harpy Lieutenants. And now we got to do a shaky, so we got to swing right. That's awesome, your cards. I find myself thinking of you guys often. Yeah, same, man. All the time. Go to the grocery store in a big city. They're taking it seriously. They organize lines and how many of them can go in at a time. Which country are you from, LOR? You're in France right now? You need the roots? Let me see if I got them all. I don't think so, not yet. I'll get them, though. You get them from everything, right? So one thing that they missed the mark on here, at least where I'm from. It could be, oh, you're in the US, yeah. So you're on the, you probably see it in the same boat. Oh, another member, too. Hey, MX4, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, Dave, man. Thank you very much for joining the Hive Mind. It's a cool name. I love the Hive Mind. Right side cargo's Corona's doing great for the hardcore WoW community. In what sense? I mean, we already pretty much practice social distancing as a very core tenet of our lifestyle. We stay inside and level our hardcore characters every day. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So one thing I think they missed the mark on here in the U.S. at least is a few days ago, I've been stockpiling for multiple days now. You kind of have to chip away at it. You go to the market, you look for this stuff. You load up the truck. You go back, you drop it off. It's a process, right? So I've seen the grocery stores the past couple days. They didn't do any sort of limitation on water or any of the goods in the grocery stores, at least where I'm from. Maybe they've done that in some of the other cities. So what I sort of think happened is that a few people who were kind of big brain went in and basically got all the water, got all the eggs, got all the stuff. Because by the time I got there, and I got there pretty early, it was already wiped out. What would have been big brain is if these chains set like a limit. Like, you can only buy 3 dozen eggs, you can only buy 3 cases of water early. Yeah, the limit was not here, for at least here in the Bay Area. Limit of 1 to 2 on water. Okay. What the fuck is up, my boy Cargo Zug Zug? What's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, things are good. Things are good. I'm ready, man. I'm feeling super ready. I told my American friend to take coronavirus seriously, but he didn't listen. He just quoted the mainstream, "The flu kills more, bro, and it only affects the old." Well, now he has a dry cough that won't go away, and it's getting worse. He thinks he's infected and now is taking it seriously. Yeah. You did kind of come off, though, Finisher, a little bit of... it did sound kind of tinfoil hatty. You have to kind of, like, approach it in, like, a less aggressive way. I would have to say that might have been an issue. I was saying the same thing, too, a little while ago. I mean, I was trying to get... I didn't have my mind made up or anything like that, but... I tend to, historically, always do look at the things kind of cup half full and think, nah, it'll be alright, it'll be alright. It's kind of just... I'm pretty go with the flow with stuff, too, in general. Like, I'll be like, it'll be alright, we'll figure it out. And also, if you look at some of the narrative in the media, and even the president has kind of changed his stance on this a lot. With that said, no, I don't want to get into politics. Never mind. But people are taking it seriously now. That's for sure.
Strength.
Yeah, people are taking it seriously now. I'm in the western suburbs of Detroit, Ann Arbor area. Nice, man. I have a guild member who works for UPS who has a severe sore throat, and her manager was trying to still get her to come in. Oh, wow. That's insane. So what do you guys think? You think the Amazon supply chains and all this, you think it's going to hold up? You think we're still going to be able to order stuff? I ordered some stuff tonight. You know, as long as they're still holding, I'm ordering stuff, man. Like, just, you know, whatever, you know, I'm not going OD with it, but I'm still ordering stuff. I think we'll have to see. Drop manual. True. Wait, no, don't we have to turn this in? I made this mistake last time. Return the Samaflange, which is something else. You eventually have to return a manual to something Gizzle Grob or something in Orgrimmar, so eventually you need it. I'm not sure if I can delete it quite yet. Did we do Samaflange? Oh, no, we're doing a Shaky. That's what we're doing. Okay, we're doing a Shaky. We get daily updates from the Chief Medical Officer every day here, which is nice. Nice, man. For what company? Yo, what does everybody do in here professionally, if you don't mind me asking? I don't get what people say it won't affect them. Only the old say what they do, even if it is not super serious. Who the fuck wants to get the flu-like symptoms? No one likes being sick. Well, here's the other thing that I've always said, Solar, that I don't think anybody has a complete understanding of this virus, or many other viruses for that matter. So in the early days of a new viral strain or something like that, to feel like confident enough to say, oh, it only affects the old, like there wouldn't be any other implications to getting it, right? Some people say you're going to have reduced respiratory function afterwards. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but I'm just saying there could be other implications to the virus. You know, it could. I was joking around, sort of, but I was kind of serious at the same time. Like, this, people are joking around saying it makes you infertile. You never know with these type of things. So, we got a handyman in here. Okay. How is things with you? I guess you make your own. Man. So you still got to keep pumping, huh? Since you're a handyman, you have to go market yourself and just keep getting new gigs and stuff. Insurance, advertising, nonprofit, studying poli-sci, server, out of work till May in Denver. Damn, dude. Are they paying you anything, Jesse? I wonder. So one thing is a general sort of thing, guys. Tell me if you agree. If it's a generalization, right? Do you agree or do you disagree with this? Small business is getting hurt the hardest right now, right? And corporations, like, well, I mean, small businesses are corporations too. They're set up as little LLCs or S corps or C corps or whatever it is. But the bigger corporations are more well positioned for this because they will, you know, be overcapitalized a lot of time. They have contingency plans and corporate processes in place to handle this type of stuff. The small businesses that you know, are either restaurants or even stuff like car dealerships. I'm just trying to think about all the different small businesses. They're definitely going to be more impacted, right? So that's yeah, seems like people are agreeing on that. That feels bad, man. Feels bad. That feels seriously bad. At what point do you go from being worried to tinfoil hat level? That's a good question, too. I kind of want to investigate that in a second. Let me finish this one point, though. So with regard to small businesses, though, America, at least, I don't think it's as much the case in other nations. It's an observation specifically in America. America, kind of no matter where you go, no matter what state you go, all 50 states in the Union, right? If anywhere you go, it kind of looks the same now. What do I mean by that? Is that they have a lot of the same chains everywhere. You're going to see Walmarts, you're going to see Mickey D's, you're going to see a lot of the same franchises and chains, to the point of like when you go to a new area in the US, sometimes it feels bad because you're like, oh, it kind of just looks like the same as where I'm from. You know, and people come out, even my wife came out to California and definitely noticed that observation as well. So there's that kind of shift towards everything looking like a concrete jungle, a lot of the same franchises, and you still have mom and pop businesses, right? It's usually in wealthier towns, though, I've noticed, that like kind of have the discretionary funds to set up kind of a downtown district with a bunch of, you know, restaurants and shops and stuff like that. And it'd be kind of sad as a result of this that more of those small businesses that have a bit of identity and flavor to them might shut down. Small businesses won't be bailed out, true. It's actually a disease and not a virus. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused about that. I've heard that. So there's some sort of, you know, the virus causes a disease or something. What's the difference between a virus and a disease? I don't know the exact specifications. I just recently learned how a virus even works, though. Viruses are pretty interesting, guys. They're way smaller than, what was it? They're way smaller than bacteria and stuff, right? They're super small, and it's, people don't consider viruses alive. They're kind of alive in a sense. Viruses are just strange. They basically build stuff, they don't reproduce by themselves. They hijack your cells and make your cells reproduce. Do you buy the bat story? I actually have no idea, man. I just like, that's the type of thing where I'm just so far removed from that I just take it with a grain of salt. I hear these different theories on it. Like, I have just no... It's the type of thing where your gut doesn't have enough leverage, your gut instinct, because it's just so far removed. It's just another reality away. Never been to a wet market, never been to even China. Bacteriophages? Oh yeah, I was hearing about that too. They're inert, non-metabolically active, host-dependent transport vehicles for genetic coding material. Damn. There it is. Take this time to order, take out, and get the supplies you can from small businesses that are still open. That's a big true, man. That's a big true. It's going to be seriously fascinating, guys. Be awake, keep your heads on a swivel, and observe what is about to happen right now. This is uncharted waters for humanity, right? Now, we've had worse outbreaks in the past, right? I'm not saying that this is the most severe one ever, but what makes it really interesting is the impact of media, social media, the economy, the how rapid information is shared and recorded, and all this. It is going to make for a very interesting ride. Cargo's over CNN. Damn, thanks, man. What class counters hunters the most in World PvP? Warlock. Warlock will slap them silly. Basically, Warlock. That's the only one I would say kind of counters them. You can still win as a hunter, but there has to be a gear difference, skill difference. You need to have some good coolies up. You need to, in order to win as a hunter, you need to engage it 41 yards away with the Viper's thing, and engage the Warlock on your terms. And the Warlock ideally has to be like SM Ruin or something that's not optimal. If you engage like an an SL Warlock in a fair fight 1v1, they're taking you out. You don't really have a whole lot. Like, they're just gonna they're just gonna outlast you, even with the Viper's thing. You're just trying to hang in there for as long as possible. The Viper's thing drains them, and then as they tap, because yeah, you can just think they can tap, right? But the tap does a decent amount of damage to the Warlock, so. Or if they fuck up with your pad or something, you can still win. But if you order takeout or delivery, please take care of the people helping you by tipping as well. That's a really good point as well, man. Here's the thing, though. There's so many interesting things I'm thinking about, right? So takeout and delivery. Is anybody concerned that what you're ordering from a restaurant for takeout or delivery may be, you know, compromised or whatever? I mean, can a virus live in hot food? These are all just so many questions I have, right? So you cook something, right, in a pan. I assume it would just kill everything on it, right? You still play your 60 and other alts? I play my 60 Warlock I raid on Wednesday and Thursday. Has China's outbreak stabilized yet? I wish I had a clear understanding of that. I don't think anyone does, man. They're basically reporting that they're getting barely any new cases at all. But it's... I'll link you what I've been using to track everything, guys. You know, take everything with a grain of salt, right? This is the best thing I've seen so far. It's a live stream on YouTube that runs 24/7. And the interesting thing is, because it's been running 24/7, you can go back in time. Just like with my stream, some of you right now, you can just go back to watch the earlier parts of the stream. And you can watch it pretty much unfold and ramp up. There's some pretty interesting key takeaways from today. Italy got a huge surge. Let me try and find it. It's called Roy Labs. They picked up something like 3,500 or 4,000 cases today. US had a pretty big surge too, over 2,000, I'm pretty sure. Here it is, Royal Lab stats. Hold up. This isn't it, man. Give me 1 second. Apologies for the awkward silence. I just want to find this for you guys. Should be interesting to some of you. Huh. It might have got taken down, man. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Oh, no, it's up. Okay, my bad. There's just a lot of copycats now. Here it is, guys. If you want to track along with everything, I just check on this throughout the day and then watch like the local news stories across all the outlets and just try and think for yourself here, right? How are viruses not alive? Aren't they a type of bacteria? I don't think they're a type of bacteria, man. They're way smaller, and that's why people were saying in the chat before, I always think back to the chat, you guys were saying that the masks don't really help you because they're able to just pass freely through the mask. I still think there's many other benefits to wearing the mask, right? But especially, isn't the N95 mask, those got to be able to trap it because it actually has like a smaller filter on it. Maybe not, though. I don't know too much about this, but economies will be ruined if it keeps up for a few months. The interesting thing, though, is that it's affecting all the economies, right? So maybe everything will just scale? We'll have to see. Viruses have no cell wall. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So some key things to keep in mind is see if the supply chain of Amazon holds up. If you're still going to be able to order stuff online, that's going to be huge. To see if the food and water supply chains at the grocery stores hold up. All really, really key things to keep, to look at. To see how people react in our civilized modern society with all these rapid information sharing and social media and cameras and body cameras to a lack of goods, a lack of access to goods and services. We're going to have to see how that plans out. I'd say one of the most concerning things, it looks pretty good right now though, is the whole idea of COVID heating up in the African nations. Because in African nations, and probably India too, they have the lowest amount of doctors per capita. I don't know what it is in India. I just heard the African nation one is something like 0.01 for every 1,000 people. So, they probably have one ICU bed per 1,000 people or something like that. So if it starts to snowball there and you get some bad infections, that is looking like a nightmare scenario. But looking at the data right now, it looks pretty good. I think the African nation with the most cases is it Senegal or something? They had like 20. Stocks are dipping across the board. We're in a bear market. Stocks will go up every Friday because in a bear market Friday. Well, yeah, we'll have to see, man. Hold on, where the hell is it shaky? Am I tripping? Pretty sure it's up here. Bro, I am tripping right now. Is it shaky over here? Samaflange is up here. I think it's over this way. Always have the guide up. It's by those trees and all the lions and stuff. Yeah, it's gotta be here. I didn't see the tree. This kind of disoriented me. I'm pretty sure it's over here. You're gonna see the bones. Alright. India at 147. No, I'm saying how many doctors they have per 1,000 people. Or is it not gonna be here? No, it's here. I just realized something. I was playing on my on a crappy computer on vacation, so everything was down to 1. That's why the game looked so bad and I couldn't see anything. Oh, it's gonna look way better now. Oh, that looks so much better, doesn't it? Alright, that's good. Now I can actually see things from a distance. That makes so much sense. Italy has 2,500 deaths. Yeah, they have, yeah, 31. So it spiked up this morning when we started the early stream. They were at something like 27,000 cases. And then it spiked up to 31K in a couple hours. It's pretty amazing. I think they just a big update must have been pushed out. Not amazing in a good way, but just mind-boggling. West Virginia is where I live, aren't there still? Nope. All the states have it now. Dr. Hasbro. West Virginia, I think, was the last one to get a confirmed case, but I think it was due to lack of testing because it was also one of the states who had the last access to the testing. India is so dense population. I'm worried for them. Plus the poor people have no access to sanitizers. Yeah, that's definitely concerning, right? There's a DDoS attack going on right now. It's on WoW's loading page. Yo, it's interesting you say that. Did anybody else get a queue today? That's the first time I've seen that pretty much in a long time. I had to wait like 10 minutes before I could even get in and play. I was thinking that probably everyone is home and doesn't have to go in and commute, and maybe there's more people gaming, but it makes sense. Could be a DDoS attack. Italy is aggressively testing the population like South Korea did, so their known cases are going to go up. Yeah, the kind of sad thing, I wonder if anybody's giving humanitarian aid to Italy right now, because it seems like all the countries are kind of freaking out to a certain extent, trying to make sure their own population is good. Because I don't know if any country has an excess amount of ventilators, excess amounts of ICU beds, excess amount of doctors. So it almost feels like Italy's kind of on their own. And it was very ominous, I have to say, earlier on the stream when I asked the chat. We had maybe 600, 700 people in there. It wasn't the hugest stream ever, but if anybody was from Italy, no one was even trolling that they were from Italy. Like, there was nobody. And it just makes me wonder, like, what is going on over there right now. I got massive queues on both my servers because everyone's home playing, but also both servers shit the bed. Okay. I got booted and had a 5 to 10 minute queue. Got on and DC'd again? Yeah. Okay. Well, it's been stable so far. Hey Gargars, do you play your 60 or any alts? I do play my 60, yeah. I play them on Wednesday and Thursday. One day I'll stream a raid if we're gonna do a clap night or something. He doesn't have the best gear. It's kind of a casual raid. We're not really stomping anything. And I'm new to the raid and stuff too, so I don't know. Just want to don't feel super motivated to stream the raid content. %50 of the guys who tested positive in a village outside of Venedig. What is Venedig? Countries trying to imitate South Korea's tactics because they worked. Hence, big cities shutting down for 3 weeks. Aggressive testing. Oh, okay. Yeah, out of all the countries, seems like they're doing it the best. But Germany too. Like I said, I'm gonna keep reiterating it. Something special about Germany, man. If you look at that thing I linked you guys, I'll link it again so you guys can get a fresh take on it. Take a look take a gander at the amount of cases in Germany, the number 6 nation, and look at the amount of fatalities. Insanely low. Spain is in the same ballpark, and Spain has 533 deaths. Germany, 27. Even South Korea, that's a better ratio than South Korea. Something to be said about the German healthcare system. I don't know. They're just killing it. No, I mean, they got wrecked, but they're also handling it really well. Like, no one's dying. Like, everyone's getting better. They're not succumbing to their illness. It's amazing. Germany is not testing well, but this isn't necessarily a test. I mean, that's definitely something to think about, but this has nothing to do with testing. It's just saying these are confirmed cases, and only 22 people have died out of all those cases. Do you think this could end civilization? No, I don't think so. Not even close. Not even close, man. That's the cup half full. Not even close is this gonna end civilization. Germany has comprehensive healthcare for a century. Oh, comprehensive. I mean, comprehensive. What do you mean? Is it medical care for all? Like it's free, kind of? Thank you for the 2.
Germany has comprehensive healthcare for a century.
Oh, look who it is, man. Big, drinky Megalodon Crow in the house. Dude, with the $50, can you play song Ivar, M, and Tupac? I don't usually do media share, my man Drinky. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the support, as always, man. But, I'm not set up to do the media share, unfortunately.
Can you play song Ivar, M, and Tupac?
They ain't showing who's dying. No, I feel like Germany would be transparent about that. I mean, you could say that about maybe like China or maybe Russia if there's some kind of political agenda. I feel like Germany would be very transparent on their statistics. It's pretty amazing. Big shout out to Germany, man. After we get through this, you'll be hearing more and more about damage done to your organs and the years taken off one's life. Dude, that's the stuff of nightmares. Fingers crossed that's not true. Fingers crossed it's just like the flu. Oh, I sure hope that's not the case, man. I really do. So many dark numbers though. Here in Norway they don't have capacity to check everyone, so we have just been ordered to stay home isolated if you feel sick. Yeah, it's pretty much the whole world right now, guys. Ooh, some green gloves. 2 int, 2 stem. Alright, take that. It's nice. Debating if I want to take 10 gold under market price for a beast card I bought for 2 gold. Oh yeah, how are those cards selling? Are they super expensive right now? I'm totally lost in the sauce with them, with the end game, you know, prices and all this type of stuff. Are flash still through the roof for everything? I mean, I feel like it's probably chilled out a bit, right? BWL's been out for a few weeks. Taxes aren't that high. Hey Cargus, do you think a duo leveling hardcore stream play would be fun? It would be a lot easier than normal hardcore, but one of you is still bound to die before 60. Absolutely. No, I love duo leveling. If you guys have followed my channel for a while, I got super into duo leveling for a while. It's some of the most fun you can have in this game. Duo leveling. I absolutely would love to flesh out a hardcore rule set. I don't think it'd be that hard. Pretty much, I think if you're hardcore duo leveling and your partner dies, you don't go on and continue to be a solo hardcore because that's a different rule set, right? You already got to experience the benefits of other professions potentially because you do professions with each other and stuff like that. If your partner dies, you would have to seppuku yourself pretty much. You have to kill. You have to fall on the sword. So it's, you know, it's one team, one fight. If one of you perishes, both of you perish. That'd be the main thing. Flash still very expensive. Only cards that matter are the ones for the healer trinket. Oh, which one is that? The Maelstrom? The one where you get a chance to restore mana or something? Do you think the National Guard will be called in? Oh yeah, they already are being mobilized all across the nation, man. National Guard's definitely going to have a role to play in this across the entire United States for sure. Setting up makeshift hospitals, sanitizing areas, handing out food and supplies, you know, keeping the peace in certain areas, definitely. Cargo's chilling as always. Big classic spirit. Yo, I appreciate that. Yo, is that dive? Is that D-dive? Always have to make sure. That is D-dive. Ladies and gentlemen, humongous brain. Member of the Classic WoW community, gracing us with his presence in the Twitch chat. You love to see it, Dive. How are you, man? You staying safe? Where are you from, Dive? We've been talking a lot about the current state of affairs here. North Korea's lying for sure. We have no cases, no deaths. Is that what they're saying, man? I didn't see a Pyongyang statistic on there. I was thinking, yo, it's possible because they're so isolated that maybe they didn't get it. There's no chance, though, right? They're right next to South Korea, and you know, they still have some commerce between each other, right? And North Korea has commerce with China. They've got to have some cases, man. They gotta have some cases, dude. We have 28,000 beds with medical ventilators, but 20,000 already occupied. We're doing okay. Where are you at, though, Dirk? I didn't catch that. Are you in Germany? There's got to be some people coming in and out of China. Yeah, for sure, right? What has been, guys? I'm doing a lot of talking. I'm dying to get a little bit of engagement out of you guys too. What has been the most interesting takeaway you guys have? What has been the most interesting takeaway so far with the way things have unraveled? Like as I've said before, this is a seriously fascinating time to be alive right now. We've never gone through as a species what we're going through right now in quite the same fashion. Again, I'm thinking about this. It's like I'm fixated on it, thinking about it 24/7. So many effects, so many different industries, ways of life, countries. Really, really curious. How quickly supply chains collapsed. How so? What do you mean by that, though, man? I almost feel like the supply chains have been really good. I'm surprised Amazon's still pumping. The grocery stores still have a relatively good amount of stuff in them. It doesn't seem to have collapsed yet with regard to what supply chains. I like how the gas prices went down. I noticed that. Why is that the case, Bud Cherry Pie? Was that the type of thing that it was like a executive order or whatever to just manually lower it? I did notice that. I filled up my truck the other day. It usually cost me to fill up my truck to full. Cost me about $70 or so. It's got a pretty big tank on it, and it's my car is just a huge yikes with regard to gas. It's 13 miles per gallon. I have a Hemi in my car, and Hemis are, you know, they used to be kind of badass at least back in the day, and it can tow a lot, and then, you know. But the thing is, I'm pretty sure if you have a Hemi, you have pretty shit gas mileage. So my gas mileage is trash. Let me see. I think it's because people are buying less. Less people driving, true. Oil collapsed. Oh, very interesting. Okay. Oil collapsed. People thinking of the virus as a joke and a minor issue only affecting the young and the old. 100%. I'm on the same page. You still hear that right now. A lot of people have been coming into the chat saying that too. You know, they're actually predicting a lot of like the top doctors, man. Like people that don't really stand a lot to gain. Like that one guy I keep referencing, that UK coronavirus doctor. I've been listening to him a lot. A lot of doctors who specialize in this are thinking that it has potential to infect between 40 to 70% of the global population. With that said, don't everybody freak out at once, because most people are just going to survive it and be totally fine. But that's affecting everything. People thinking it's not a virus and the effects are coming from 5G towers. Someone asked earlier, when do you cross the line of being a tinfoil hat? That's definitely well past that line. I don't know. Actually, let's think about this as a group, guys. When do you go from intellectually precocious and, you know, thinking for yourself and making data-driven assessments and doing all this, go from that and like just good kind of journalism, good investigative instincts, to tinfoil hat? It's probably when you you start coming out with outlandish claims that aren't backed by anything reasonable. But the term reasonable is so subjective, man. Right? Like, you kind of... when you have no factual evidence, yeah. That's definitely... My takeaway is how people can't mentally navigate the waters between, oh my god, we're all going to die and it's no big deal. That's nice. I mean, people are very polarizing, right? Or that's kind of human nature. The light switch is either on or off. Time is either, there's a beginning, there's an end, there's a black and there's a white, there's a red, there's a blue. So it makes sense. People are just trying to, you know, gravitate towards
victory.
Dichotomy. I don't know if that's a word or not. Dan, what's up, man? You up either super early or super late? Yeah, it's pretty late. 12:25 a.m. right here. We're technically in day 2 of the lockdown now. So another thing too, yeah. I see what you say, Butcher, about the toilet paper. I've noticed that there's a good amount of people trying to make a lot of money off the coronavirus. That kind of puts me off, man. Some people are seeing it as a really big opportunity. But and so that doesn't have to necessarily be bad, because, you know, entrepreneurship and starting a business can be good. You add value. That's in theory how it works, right? You see some kind of problem or issue people are having, and then in that sense it's an opportunity. But people are trying to kind of like cock block people and make $1, and that feels bad, man. I just want to say I'm feeling a lot better, and the younger generation will not feel symptoms, but the older generations must be considered. Yeah. There's no answer to that question. True. You just answer your question within your question when you stop making data-driven observations and questions. Yeah.
Speak, friend.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Sell this stuff, sell this.
May your blades never dull.
Ding 17. I think we should get skills now. It's been 6 levels, right? We should get some skills. Let's go to Moonblade. It's the scalpers, yeah, sure. Some doctors, virologists are basically turning into pop stars right now in my country. That's a good thing, though. That's, you know, that's an opportunity, and they're coming up, but for the right reasons, right? I mean, those people should be honestly, our celebrities and stuff like that. Have you guys ever thought about that? That, you know, people who are astrophysicists and stuff, people like Neil deGrasse Tyson. Well, Neil deGrasse Tyson actually has a lot of hype around him, but a lot of those people should be our, you know, should be on the radio and be kind of mainstream celebrities more. People should be like celebrating them a lot. China is the best at containing the virus. I don't know, man. There's not a lot of transparency coming out of China right now. For most people, it doesn't matter how much evidence you have. You can't always link it all. Most people refuse to look at it. So good thinking, Cargos. Greetings from Austria. What's up, Simple Jack? Austria, another nation that definitely is struggling right now as well, man. Hope you're safe. What are your thoughts on the studies that have shown the decreased respiratory function in recovered individuals from the virus? Bro, I have not looked into that at all. But that is the stuff of nightmares. But at the same time, I'm skeptical too, because you're getting over a virus that is giving you respiratory symptoms. You get chronic viral pneumonia and you die and you have compromised air function. We haven't even had enough time from the recovery of coronavirus, right? Like even just a couple months. When did coronavirus start, right? End of 2019? Even the people that was the first wave of coronavirus people do, they only had a couple months. Like that's a serious viral ailment right now. So yeah, I would imagine they would have some compromised, you know, even if you have the flu and you get over the flu, you're still going to be feeling kind of not 100% for a while, right? Even if you have a cold, So I don't know if enough time has passed for you to make that assessment and say like you're gonna have some permanent, but it's something to definitely look at. But you know, to drop the gavel and say your lungs are gonna be fucked forever. And you could probably just rebuild your lungs and make them stronger, because you can do that, right? If you just started running, jogging. You started from the Chinese meat markets. Does that tell you anything about eating meat, Hive Mind? No one knows exactly where it started, though, man. As far as I'm concerned, both of those theories have equal weight, because I know equally little about both of them. Some people say it started in that Wushan wet market. Some people said it started from some biochemical plants. None of us have been over to China to check. I haven't seen any great evidence in either direction, so that one's kind of up in the air. I'm just gonna train it all. It's kind of funny how the government and news media is still up and running, but they're warning us to stay home and be safe. What do you mean, though? But they have to do that. The government, I mean, the media doesn't necessarily have to, but I think a lot of people appreciate the media running, and it doesn't take a whole lot for the media to run. This is kind of the media right now, even streaming right now. All they need is like a clean, sanitized room and a camera and the internet, and they're able to basically run perfectly fine. So I'm glad the media is still up and running. I mean, the government, are you implying that the government should be shut down right now? Do you have a character run Grobulus? Saw cargoes running around? No, I don't. Someone might have yoinked the name. What kind of car do you have? Something like a Dodge Ram. I like Dodge Rams, but no, I have a Jeep. I have a Jeep Commander. It's a three row. It's a little bit bigger than a Grand Cherokee. It has 3 rows in it. It's really perfect for the dogs. But I'm thinking about buying a Ram Pro Master as well and turning it into converting it into a camper. The Pro Masters are the one, they have the short roof. They also have the extended roof one that are like 6-foot roof, and then turning it into an awesome like adventurer kind of bug out vehicle type thing that you could turn into something. If they're shutting us down, they should also be shut down. The government, but someone has to run. Someone has to run things, man. What city are you in? I am right near San Francisco. I am in the San Francisco Bay Area. That's the closest city I live to. Actually, Oakland is closer technically, but it's all right in the same area. If this was the end of the world, what is the food you would miss most? You're kind of just indirectly asking me what my favorite food is. Favorite food. Gun to my head. I had to answer, and I couldn't give some cop-out answer. Gun to my head. Favorite food. Man, oh man. Favorite meal? I'm gonna go with favorite meal. God, it's so hard. It's impossible. It's impossible. It's like asking what the meaning of life is. Gun to my head. It might be this. I used to go to this French restaurant down in the financial district in New York, and what they would do is they would give you a hanger steak. It almost was like flank steak, but it was delicious, and they served it with pommes frites, which is like the French fry, you know, the little small French fries, and it had this sauce on the steak. If gun to my head, if I had to choose one meal, it would probably be that. But I mean, there's so many good ones. Chicken katsu curry and some nice sushi rice is up there. And just a pizza. Straight up New York pie. God, it's impossible. That is the hardest things. That is just the hardest thing to answer. Corn dogs. This is your last meal? Damn. Bug out vehicle is forget the fuck out. That's true, yeah. I mean, the thing is about bugging out, though. It's good to have it in mind because you always want to have some kind of fallback. But what situation would you ever really bug out? You know, given the coronavirus. It probably would be, someone said in the chat yesterday, riots. If there is immediate physical danger and it was pretty obvious that you were going to get looted and ransacked by a bunch of people and it was just a matter of time, or if you felt for whatever reason, you know, it's really heating up, you know, the virus is spreading like crazy in your area, maybe you'd want to leave. Okay, we're thinking about it, we're getting there. What I'd probably do is I'd link up with my parents. My parents live in a more remote area. I mean, I have a bug out location I have in mind that I know exactly where to go, but I would probably want to just go to my parents first. But the thing is, then I wouldn't want to infect them too, right? Best thing is to have a boat. The thing is about boats, pretty high maintenance costs, but yeah, boats are dope. Chicken Alfredo slaps. Definitely, dude. Are you near Marin? Sort of. I mean, it's all the Bay Area. I'm not too close to Marin, though. Marin County is not on lockdown, I believe. Marin and Solano. There's 8 counties in the Bay Area, I believe, and 6 of 8 are on lockdown, so it affects roughly 7 million people. But Solano and Marin, for whatever reason, I think Marin has 0 cases. Maybe that's why. Yeah, Seamus, we're talking last meal. Sort of also what meal that you just enjoy the most. If you want bugged out now, it would be riots. But even in riots, bugging out is dangerous. Yeah, bugging out is really not really an optimal line, dude. It really would suck having to bug out. If you had to bug out, though, the best thing would be able to have some camper van or trailer. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. That is something I dream of. I fantasize about that more than anything else, man. I'm going to get there. I'll be able to do it, someday soon. I really want a vehicle that it's either the vehicle itself, it's a van, 6 foot plus like head clearance, so you're able to stand up in it, right? Has a little shower, has a little chem toilet in it, has the gray water lines the hookup for it, so it could just be a regular toilet if you want. Has a little kitchenette, it has a like a Murphy bed that would fold up and down, and anything, there's lots of fires and wildfires in California too, so anything happens like that, you just hop in the camper van and then you just head out, and it's got solar panels on the top. I dream one day I'll get there. How could you keep fuel for a camper if you had to truly bug out long term? The thing is, you wouldn't necessarily have to you could kind of just get to a location and just live out of it, man, and you wouldn't even have to necessarily keep driving it. I mean, it's just getting gasoline. Gasoline does go bad. It has actually a pretty fast expiration date on it. So what you would do is you would have to get some kind of gas stabilizer. I've never done that before. You would stockpile a bunch of gas, stabilize it, and then it would give you a longer runway with it. Holy smokes, big gas donation.
You're making my 12-day quarantine a breeze watching your stream. Stay safe out there.
Yo, Freddy's in. Guys, Hive Mind. My man Freddy's in. I have not seen this name in the chat before. With the massive donation. Thank you very much, Freddy's in. It's nice to meet you, man. First time here in the stream, bro? Thank you very much for the 20, bro. Would you make a YouTube channel of you building a bug out vehicle? I dream of having another YouTube channel one day too, BK. Maybe some of you guys will follow me over there. Where I do like survival stuff, bug out stuff, do gear reviews, talk about, talk about types of bags, medical kits, how to build how to build an A-frame, and a lot of this stuff I would have to learn myself, right? And because I don't know a lot of this stuff, and it would give me a reason to actually go practice. And you could do reviews on knives and weapons and bows and I don't know, all types of good stuff one day. New to this, I'm in Beijing, China. Oh wow. Seriously, you're in Beijing, Freddy. How is it over there, man? Is it do you feel that China is truly kind of stopping the curve? People are talking about flattening the curve over here in Western nations, where we're trying to just delay it and give us as much of a runway as possible so we can come up with vaccines. How are they doing over there? Or maybe you don't know. Maybe it's kind of more of a hush-hush thing. I don't know. Oh, you're in Contra Costa? Dude, yeah, we're neighbors, meme, dude. What's up, dude? Yeah, we're neighbors, man. Once we're out of lockdown, go to Kinjo and Pack Heights. It's got the best sushi in the world, and I've had gyros in Tokyo. Oh, you had gyros in Tokyo? I watched that documentary. Yeah, that sushi looks like it slaps. Go to Kinjo and Pack Heights. All right, man, I'll definitely keep it online. Yeah, we should link up. I want to make a Bay Area meetup sometime, me and dude. You ever use Meetup, right?
We need a survival prepper doggo cargo's channel.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, Seamus. I would love that. Getting the dogs involved too. Man, because you can't really do it all with one channel. I feel like if I started to do that on this channel, it would be GG. I mean, I know some of you guys would stick around, but you know, 90+% would bounce. You think the media is still going to cover the news and help us out when we are being mugged and killed for our supplies to survive? That escalated quickly as I read that. I don't think it's going to get to that level, man. You think the media is still going to cover the news? I think so. Yeah, it's very sensationalist media. If that started happening, they're going to capitalize on every AdSense dollar or whatever it is, however they monetize with broadband ad-supported media or television. I don't think all the news these days, is it really being consumed through broadband ad-supported television, through cable and stuff? Probably not. It's probably through YouTube and stuff. They're probably making most of their money off AdSense. I don't know. I think they would, up until a certain point. Prepper community is going to be absolutely huge after this corona pandemic. Yeah, man.
Loktar.
Definitely. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to have all the negative connotation. For a while, I was a little bit hesitant to call myself a prepper, but the older you get, you just say, fuck it. You know, it's all good. People can think and put whatever label on it as you want, but you just got to be prepared. Prepared for any situation. And you kind of take pride in your preparedness, and it's just fun too, you know, getting some of the survival tools, practicing with it, thinking about your plan, your strats, making nice bags, and you know, there's a lot of really fun stuff with it. Anyway, I hope the Chinese numbers are true and not government propaganda. Me too, man. I hope they really do have it under control. I hope they actually stop the curve. Fingers crossed. I mean, I worked at Twitch for 8 years before I retired and helped build our formal meetup program. Oh, wow. Yeah, so you know a thing or two about that. Brazil here just got the first death. Oh, damn, hate to see it. Yeah, hate to see it. You really do. Oh, my Lanta, dude. Another fat donation from my man Freddie Zinn. I thought the Blizzard servers were down with the DDoS attack.
Me got the good stuff.
I thought the Blizzard servers were down with a DDoS attack.
So people in the chat were saying that was true. Was it down before I started streaming? Because right now it's been super fine. I think they were down though. Thank you very much again, Freddie, for the 20, dude. That's a monstrously generous donation, man. Alright, we got the Thorns up. Thorns rank 2. Bash on our bar. Enrage on our bar. Swipe on our bar. What else? Healing touch 3. Oh, and we have regrowth now. Oh, you'll love to see it. Yeah, we got way stronger. We just got way stronger. That's awesome news. It was up, it was down, it's up again. Okay. All I have is a crossbow, but it's rather calm in Eastern Europe. No looting in the closest future. Hey man, crossbows slap, I'm telling you. Crossbows, thing is, you gotta just get practice. You gotta practice reloading it, because golly, it is tough to get a crossbow. Like you cannot. If anybody's have seen a crossbow before and you never fired one, you might think that you just pull it back with your hand, right? You have no shot of pulling it back with your hand. You have to step on it with your full body weight, and they call it the draw. I'm pretty sure it takes all your effort. It's like 50 pounds or 60 pounds worth of force that you have to pull back and lock it into position, and then you have to drop another bolt into it, and then you're good to go again. So it's the type of thing you kind of just have one shot, maybe two if you're fast. But yeah, they slap though. Thing is, if you got hit with a crossbow bolt, you'd have to get hit in a vulnerable spot, because it's so strong that it's probably just gonna go right through you. It has so much strength to the bolt. There are 1,000-pound war crossbows. Absolutely no way you can pull it back by hand. Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, it would go through you, right? Like, I was trying to, like shoot watermelons and stuff in the past with just a little handheld one. I was just plinking around with that. I bought it off Amazon. You ever seen those handheld crossbows? And I was shooting watermelons with it. I did not think it was going to slap that hard. Those handheld crossbows could probably take down a deer, to be honest. Where I'm from, people love to party out in public and drink with strangers. The police have to constantly break up the crowds, and they just move over a couple blocks and continue. It's spreading like wildfire here. Oh, damn. But you're in the States, right? Where did you say where you're from before? I mean, yeah, there's probably places in the States like that. I've been hearing that people in France are having a hard time abiding by the shutdown, and that they're still out in public in masses. Don't know if anybody's in France can confirm, but we're gonna have a bow and arrows, me too. Yeah, you know, Navik, apparently, I did not know this. Navik's an archer. You know, he did archery in high school, and he doesn't have access to a firearm, but I was telling him, and pretty much all the firearms right now, I actually haven't been to a gun store or anything recently, but they're probably all bought out right now, I would assume. People are just probably buying everything out, but you can still order a bow on Amazon right now. Pretty sure. Maybe some places you can't, but in America, I'm pretty sure you can. Have you ever drawn a combat bow? Yes, I have. When I was a little kid. Yup. I was out with my my Uncle Chuck. I wish I had a handheld crossbow. They're fun, and they're pretty portable. How do you think our society will change from the corona pandemic? Mr. Panda with the $5, like people's value or life perception or anything you might think, dude. Amazing question.
Talk to me.
Okay.
Hurry back.
First of all, thank you for the $5 donation, man.
How do you think our society will change from the corona pandemic?
People will probably
like people's value or life perception? Or anything you might think.
People will probably be a lot more sanitary or mindful of sanitation, I would imagine. People are probably not going to be licking Cheeto dust off their fingers anymore. They're going to be thinking twice after the corona pandemic. There's going to be way more ventilators, or whatever you want to call it. The whole world is going to be significantly better prepared for viral outbreaks, future ones, because this is a humongous wake-up call. And another thing that's interesting I talked about on stream earlier is that right now across all industries in the world, all territories, all these industries are rapidly finding solutions to work remotely. If there's a way to work remotely, the people in that industry will find that way and make it happen quick, fast, and in a hurry. And all these industries are probably already working remotely right now as we speak. So that's going to be a big step in that direction of just remote workplace being more acceptable across a wider, spread of industries. So like things like finance and stuff. A lot of times, my wife works in finance. They value that face-to-face contact and going into the office. So it's probably going to be way more accepted and chill to work from home. And they, people will have already done that in the past. What else? Yeah, stuff like prep. Someone said that earlier. Preppers, people like that. It's probably going to become more of a thing. People being prepared for these type of viral outbreak types of stuff. It's gonna. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? What else is going to change? I think it's going to kind of just posture check all of us in general. When something really bad happens on a big, large scale like this, whether it's a global conflict, and this is kind of in a sense has a lot of parallels to being some kind of war or whatever. It makes everyone kind of reappreciate their loved ones, reappreciate life, kind of get their priorities in check. People stop complaining as much. People stop bitching as much. People come that show a little solidarity as a species, as a nation, as a. I wonder if it'll strengthen or weaken the whole idea of globalization. There's really no stopping globalization, though. You can't. It's like once you go there, you can't go back. I mean, globalization is a good thing, right? I already work from home due to the COVID. Yeah, wifey's working from home as well. There's a lot of things. Everything is going to be affected. When we get older, we're probably going to be thinking back to the coronavirus. We're going to be thinking about that. This is going to be like our old boomer tale that we tell our kids. They're going to be like, son, let me tell you a story. Back in 2020, there was this thing called the coronavirus, and nobody was prepared for it. And a lot of people got tapped out, and there was all these panic in the streets. The supply, people weren't ready for it. They had all these presidential, this big stimulus package. Everybody got $1,000. There's this big recession and all this. We're going to be telling that tale. So it's a very interesting time we live in. I would be a very observant, hyper aware of everything, soak it all in. Someday you might be on a documentary someday where they're asking you questions. about the coronavirus back in the day, and they're saying, what was it like back then? You know, how were you feeling when you first heard about it? You never know. So I'm kind of I'm documenting it too, just on my phone, taking little videos. We are in a time of history, a possible pandemic problem, our miscalled fake news. Come on, man, do me a favor. Didn't close the borders and traveling soon enough. Blame Trump. Didn't believe in it at first. Blame Trump. Didn't help. Blame Trump. Oh wow, look at this little triangle of raptors. Interesting. Moving in a little fire team wedge here. Look at the sun scale lashtails. Interesting. Interesting. I'm gonna have my kids play Resident Evil and tell them it's about the coronavirus. Alright. Let's do test the dried seeds. Yeah, let's do that. And Varog. I think Varog's down here too. Yeah. Mighty Duck V formation, right? Yo, one thing. Guys, let's think about this. If the internet got shut off right now, yo, type something in the chat if you guys are alive right now. This is pretty juicy content right here. Let me know if you're alive. We don't have a huge stream. We'll be like 400 people. Let me see if you're, how many conscious people we have in here. Kind of want to get some feedback. All right, yo. So if the internet went off right now, no internet, and you're not allowed to go outside because we have to shelter in place, how are you going to entertain yourself? Think about it. Don't just say you're going to play games, because all of your games are in the cloud, pretty much. And so if you're trying to watch Netflix, if you were going to try to play games, all this stuff is pretty much up in the cloud now. Right? All the movies, all the shows, all the games. I'm sure some of you didn't think about that. You don't realize how much is dependent on that. Most of you would just say you're going to use your phone, but let's just imagine the phone LTE is down as well. One thing I'm kind of excited about, if you see in the back right there, I have N64, GameCube, PS2, PS3, PS4, Xbox, Xbox 360, and I still have all the physical copies. And I also have, oh, this is one thing, okay, I'm not just trying to flex on you. This is actually good advice right now. You can download through means your movies and put them on an external hard drive. I still have mine because I used to have a big collection. I used to take a lot of pride in this, of getting like the highest quality torrents. I know that's technically illegal or whatever, but anyway, you guys are gonna do you, and having just a collection of all my favorite movies. And I have a hard drive. You know, it's like a terabyte hard drive. Back then it was a big deal because I started making it years ago, back in 2014 or something, and I would always add new stuff to it. So I have this hard drive filled with my favorite movies, and then you have all these old school games and stuff that you can play. That's probably what I would do. I guess I would read, write, and draw. Thing is, man, you might get bored of that pretty quick. Is there really going back to reading, like on paper books? And I mean really go back though, because I could read for, you know, a session or two. But once you get exposed to the internet and video content, and I mean, every time I try to read a book, I fall asleep. I hear you on that. There's something to be said about that, David. It's hard for it to be sticky. You read it and you already got taste. You got the taste of the internet. You got a taste of the video content. You got a taste of that short form content. It's hard. It's hard. It would be hard. ADHD. I probably have ADHD. I was never diagnosed or anything like that. I never got, you know, Ritalin or Adderall. I never even had that in my life. You read books every day. I mean, that's good for you, man. It's definitely a good thing, because when you read books, okay, anybody think this way, that when you were a kid and you had to read books and you had to draw, your imagination was way stronger? What do you think about this, guys? Does videos and live streams, does it make your imagination less less powerful. Because I remember when I went to basic training and I was gone for that many weeks, it did kind of bother me. I do feel like a special snowflake admitting this, but it's true. I went to basic and there was no internet, there was no phone, there was no technology. You go straight back to snail mail, writing in a little, write in the rain notebook, and writing snail mail, just imagining stuff. It was very difficult going back to that. What do you mean? Video content isn't even good in regards to information. It's so awful to have to comb through a video to pause on 1 second out of 45 minutes. True. I mean, that's true if it's a bad video, but some video that's well done, like a documentary or something. Compare about reading something in a book to a documentary. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So how much is a video worth? Oftentimes, if it's done really well. Oh shit, the fire team Wedge Raptors are coming. Oh, it's only 2 of them. They lost their saw gunner. What happened? I wonder what happened. There was 3 of them. He got taken out by a coal car, I guess. I feel like I get used to reading again, though. It's like a weightlifting for your mind. That is a really good... What is that, an analogy? I mean... Pretty sure it's an analogy. That's a really good analogy, man. Weightlifting for your mind. It's like doing reps with your mind. So true. I handwrite notes and calculations all day. I mean, I guess where I'm going with this, though, is get some saved content. Download some games. Okay, so think about what you do on an airplane. What I do on an airplane is sometimes I'll play like a GTA port on my iPad or something, or sometimes I will read a book on an airplane. Or you watch your movie on your laptop. You have to think about doing stuff like that. How does the Druid feel so far? The Druid feels really good. I mean, I gotten Druids up before. I like leveling Druids. It's fun. Imagine writing a documentary of your character from day one in his or her perspective, moving through the jungles of Endoro. Man, I hope they come out with another WoW movie one day, and they make it... I don't know, it's not gonna happen. I give up. What do you guys think? Is WoW doomed? That's a good idea. Get a solid off-grid entertainment set. Oh, here's another big brain strat. That I was pretty proud of myself. So how many of you right now in the chat have all of these power banks that you've acquired through the years? You go to a little networking event, they give you some little power bank. Your mom gives you one. You use it like one time, and then it just sits in a drawer somewhere, and you never use it again. Quick posture check to the chat. Go set up a little bit like a station. So what I did, I have this patio, and I set up a little station, and I found all those power banks, and also walkie-talkies, if you have walkie-talkies or some kind of comms system, and plug them all in. Just do it. Make an event out of it. You're gonna feel so much better. Go plug them all in. So in case the lights go out for a little bit, you have some backup reserves. What if you just treated it like prison and read books and did calisthenics all day and you super jack? Yeah, maybe you should do that. True. If WoW was real life, what class would you roll? I actually have a really great answer to that. Walkie-talkies are great. BK, apparently if there was some sort of nuclear event, the ham radio system would be like the only type of electronic that would function, because everything would get EMP'd, and there's something about them that it wouldn't be affected by that. Just a little fun fact, the more you know, little Snapple fact. If WoW was real life, what class would you roll? My answer to you, my man, would be Hunter. I actually, I love Hunter. Oh, wow, we got him raided by Jamin with a party of 31. Thank you very much, my man Jamin. With a huge raid. Jamin, how are you, brother? My fellow hardcore brother. You staying safe out there, man? You doing good job, man? Thank you very much for the raid. I really appreciate it. We're doing hardcore. We're talking about the coronavirus. We're talking. It's the question on everybody's minds. So apologies if that doesn't help you suspend reality. We're very much confronting reality here and just talking about things honestly and openly and talking about life, just hanging in there together. A lot of us are on lockdown. If you're over from Jamin's stream, I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. We're currently on a 3-week lockdown, so I gotta stay inside for 3 weeks, pretty much. But yeah, anyway, back to the topic. Somebody asked over on YouTube, what class would I roll if WoW was real life? I've thought about this. This is why I know I'm kind of a low-key RPer. This is why Hunter's amazing. I really love dogs a lot. I really like German Shepherds and just dogs in general, larger dogs mainly. But I really, a house is not a home unless there's a dog there for me. And I love my dogs. They're just great, man. I'm always gonna have dogs around my life. So I enjoy the whole pet class thing aspect of it. That's one aspect of it. And I think a lot of dudes have this vision, this fantasy of something bad happens. You're out in the woods and all you have is your trusty hound and just a little fixed blade knife or an axe or something, and you have to go build a shelter and kind of survive out in the woods with your dog, with your pet, right? It's not even a pet. I mean, it's your dog. It's like a family member. So I like that, and so that resonates with me. And then also, range damage is definitely the play if you are in real life. So some of you that want to play warrior, some of you that want to play rogue, maybe rogue not so much, but especially warrior, you're going to be like a grunt if that's real life. You're not even going to be, you're going to be slicing people up IRL. That is not pretty. That is not fun. And you're probably going to get injured. Melee physical damage is not the play if it was real life. You got to go ranged. And then you have your melee weapons as a hunter as a secondary. So if someone does close that gap, then you can smack them with the old scimitar or whatever. But range damage is definitely the play. Setting up traps, being a survivalist, having the bond between, with your pet. All that stuff pretty much. Do you think it's weird that Russia has no confirmed cases? They have some confirmed cases, though. They have, I can tell you right now, Russia has, this is probably not perfectly accurate, but they have, oh, I saw it on here before. Where's it at? Hold on. Did they take them off the list? Dude, last time I checked, I felt like they had 20 cases or something like that. Oh no, here it is. Russia, 114. They have 114 cases in Russia, apparently. I would have assumed they have a lot more than that. But apparently they have 114. Can you show your growl macro? Sure. It's a mouse over growl macro. What would you guys, if WoW was IRL, could you have to live in Azeroth? Just suspend reality for a second. Which class do you think you would play? I'll ask you guys the same. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. I like the range damage. You can use guns and bows. Shaman, that's a pretty good answer. I like that. Mage is, dude, mage, okay. I actually got into a debate one time about this. Mage is honestly the play. Yeah, dude, mage is the play. Even I might change my mind. Think about it, guys. Right here, the same reason why mage is so good in the game is the same reason why it would be amazing in real life. You can make money like a monster. You have the whole infinite value loop, like kill multiple things at the same time. Well, but the main reason, though, is the teleport. So you can just zip around the world. You're just like, I want to go to Milan. I want to go to Tokyo. I want to go to Hong Kong. I want to go to Antarctica, and you just portal yourself around the world. OP. Actually, OP. Nothing can really compete with that. And you just make yourself food. Bam, food. Bam, water. Nothing can really keep up with that. That's too strong. It's gotta be mage. That's why mage is just... It's gotta be mage. And you do range damage. Panda Death Knight. Alright. Alright. Frost Live. Is everyone going to sleep right now? That is crazy. Frost Live with the 70-viewer host. Thank you very much, my man. Frost, brother. How are you, my man? How are you, Frost? You staying safe and corona-free, washing your hands, man? Hope you're doing good, man. Thank you very much for the host. You guys are too kind. What a great stream today. People hosting, subbing, donating, everything, man. Thank you guys for all the support. Lady Bateau, welcome. How you doing? I'm doing all right. I'm on lockdown, guys. Frost, I'm on lockdown. I don't know if you're on lockdown as well. I'm in the Bay Area. We're on 3 weeks of lockdown. So, pretty crazy. Warlock. Why would you want to play Warlock in real... Oh, it's Dive. Of course she's going to say Warlock. What is there to love if Warlock was an IRL class? Oh, you guys are all going to say Succubus, aren't you? What else, though? Soulstone? Would that work? If you die, you can get to come back? No, there's no way that would work. Get 2 lives with Soulstone? You die once, you just pop back up? If that was true, then maybe it makes sense. Drain life. Succubus is a good point. Lol. That's funny, man. I was literally halfway through typing Succubus when you called it out. Golly. Hey man, due to your tournament, I started practicing hardcore speedrunning. Wrote my own route for starting areas and testing it out now. Any tips or resources online about speedrunning or hardcore? There's a Discord, and people talk about it. They theory craft it, and they talk about things all day, every day, 24/7, 365. I'm gonna link it for you, man. You should definitely join. Fear? What would fear do IRL though? Somebody's about to like assault you and you just go fear and they just run around like a chicken with their head cut off. Hellstone? Yeah, what would a Hellstone be like? Hellstone would be... There's no way to have an IRL Hellstone. I can't make any kind of analogy. Summoning, that's true. So many people will be sick. I'm literally in an online class right now, but your stream is way more fun. Let's be honest, nobody actually pays attention in online classes. That's how I got through college, guys. Secret's out. I'm not ashamed. The only way I was able to make it through college, guys, was that they had one calculus class that was offered online. I don't know if it was a beta test for this calculus class. There was no chance. If I had to do calculus legit, no shot. I had no shot of getting that done. Even if I tried, because I missed like the pre-calc version of college. You know, we did it in high school a little bit. But to pass that college calc class, no shot. I would have been done. So they had one online class, and I did it, and that was the reason why I was able to get through it. You should way isolate. That's funny, man. Hellstone heals you from corona. Yo, that's actually what would heal you from corona. In game, what skill would it be? This would it be abolish poison? No, it'd probably be cleanse disease. Underwater breathing would be pretty dope. Yeah, that's true. You could probably get rich as a warlock. You just underwater breathing yourself and you go under and you find all the treasure. Abolish disease, there it is. Felsteed. True. Mage though, just the teleport, the food, and you get to eat conjured mana strudels. That sounds like delicious. Warrior, cause I ain't no bitch, bro. I don't think you ever want. You get into a knife fight, you have to do melee damage. Warrior just takes an L IRL. Actually, what else? Let me think about this. With Druid is kind of. Nah, there's no way you would be a Druid IRL. There's no way. There's nothing to love. What is there to love about Druid? Paladin? Would Paladin be sick? Nah, not really, dude. You could heal people, I guess. Imagine warrior charge IRL. You pretty much just walk up to somebody and slap them, dude. That's it. Warrior's just like a dude. If you play a warrior, if your answer is warrior, congratulations, you did it. You somehow did it. You are now living. You have now, you know, infused with the game, and you are actually playing a warrior IRL. Congratulations, you did it. Go out and live your best life. Congratulations, you are now living your existence as a classic WoW warrior. Go out there and have fun. Cleanse, auras, bubble hearth. Yeah, if you got into some kind of danger, you start to get you get mugged or something, and you just bubble hearth out. Thing is, the Hearthstone wouldn't exist. We're only thinking classes, no Hearthstone. Shaman is the best option. You can walk on water and become the new Messiah. True. Shaman would be fun. Controlling the elements. True. I don't know about mage though, guys. Come on, mage has got to be the answer. You just teleport to any city you want. No, maybe you couldn't though. Maybe you could only you could only teleport to the main cities. So it would be teleport New York, teleport probably what would the other one be? Beijing or something. What is the most populated cities? Probably be the most populated ones. Is New York even top 4 anymore population wise? Probably. London, Vegas, teleport Vegas. Oh my god, that's funny. Rogue too, actually, yeah, rogue. You want to be a rogue? Yeah, there you go. Bam, you're a rogue now. Congrats. Priest for mind control and levitate. Mind control would be lit for sure. Moscow. What are we missing? What other classes? I feel like we're missing one. We've discussed the IRL implications of all of them. So far, it's seeming like Mage is the winner. Mage, I still think Hunter's pretty solid. If you like pets. And Warlock for the succubus. Alright. I hear you. What are we talking about? Just got it. We're talking about some borderline cringe stuff, but it's kind of fun to talk about, man. If you had to choose a class, if WoW was real life, you know, or if you had to be one of these classes in real life, which ones would you choose? What we're talking about? If you go to your kitchen and grab a knife, no, you have to grab 2 knives. You gotta grab the butter knife and you gotta grab the steak knife, and there you go. You got the main hand and the offhand. Main hand steak knife, offhand butter knife, or offhand spatula. Mage is best, but I would love to go hunting with my doggies. True, same. Oh man. Yo, I don't want to sleep, guys, but I probably should. I'm streaming for... I'll hang in there a little bit more. I'll hang in there a little bit. Don't leave yet. Probably should sleep soon, though. Would going feel like IRL? Yeah, maybe being thirsty. Probably just being low energy. No, but that's what energy would be for. I don't know. I actually have no idea. You have a farm spot for mount as a level 40 warrior. You could kill the whelps in the wetlands and sell the flame sacks. That was a really nice hustle when I was doing it on my on Iron Lad back in the day. Rest in peace. You could kill turtles and make soothing turtle bisque. I mean, ideally, you farm something you can sell in the auction house. Why sleep? It's not like you're doing anything tomorrow. It is actually a good point, but I'm getting kind of tired, and I gotta take the dogs out again and stuff. I'll be streaming tomorrow as well. Farm rock, at least sell elemental earth. Yeah, there you go. That's a good one too. Probably be better off just leveling a mage though. Nah, but you want to get XP too. It makes sense. That's a good one. Yeah, it's a good one. Rock elementals in Badlands. I like that. Ah, dudes. 16 minutes on Hearth. Alright, yeah, I think I actually am going to call it, guys. My brain is starting to get a little bit slow. We're running out of spicy things to talk about. Thank you very much for the host, guys. Frost, if you're still in here by chance, and Jamin. You hate to see it, ending a stream after a host. You really, really hate to see it. I'll be back tomorrow streaming some more as well. But thank you very much for hanging out with me. I know maybe I'm going a little OD with the coronavirus stuff, but I can't help it. So I'm really interested in this stuff. But yeah, man, I'll be on tomorrow streaming as well. And I'm going to host my man Crix right now. Show him some love, Crix Gaming. He's playing some, I think he's playing some DBC right now. So if you guys are interested and haven't seen that in a minute, check it out. But yeah, guys, see you tomorrow.